there's a saying that says perception is reality, and I think I naturally maybe react slightly to that statement, as in kind of a negative reaction, perhaps, because I'm like, well, reality is reality. Its perception is not reality. But yet, I'm in marketing, and it is probably more true than we would like to admit at times that our perception becomes our own reality. So, one of the ways this plays out is when a product is marketed as being very good, very excellent, prestigious, luxury, whatever. Um, there may be, it may not have increased functionality per se, or maybe minimal compared to the more value based option. It may, it may subjectively look better, but it may also subjectively look worse than the cheaper option. So there's all these, elements that you could look at in a luxury product, for instance, and say this is not even better than the thing that's priced more competitively, um, and it's for sure not a better value. Like, it's obviously and clearly a worse value. But here's the thing, though. Um, kind of in the same way, another saying that kind of goes along with the same idea is beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And so the value that you place on a thing is the value that it has to you ultimately. So, kind of crazy to think about, if you decide that a knickknack in your house is the most precious thing in the world to you, then it is. I mean, there's nothing I can do to convince you otherwise, most likely. If you've decided that your little porcelain statue of Santa Claus is the most valuable possession that you have and means the most to you, it's the most valuable thing to you. It doesn't matter if I argue well that you could buy those for $3 at the dollar store or whatever. No, it doesn't matter. If it's the most valuable to you, it's just the most valuable. Um, Now, what's kind of interesting to me is this whole idea of packaging. So, packaging kind of refers to how you present the item that we're talking about. Now, the item could, of course, be a physical product, but it could also be, consulting or some type of information as well. And what's really interesting is to me, and I think I've talked about this before, is that probably almost all of the information that's valuable is available for free on the internet. Like, probably not all of it, um, but probably like 98.5% of all valuable information is available on the internet either for free or at a very low cost. The thing is, how do you know if it's valuable? Like, you could read a blog post that is small, dense text, no photos, on a ho hum blog in some distant corner of the internet. Now, that blog could have the very same information that a consultant who charges 500K to come in and talk to the people at your company, he could be presenting that very same information. And what you wouldn't even look at for 10 seconds, you would also be willing, let's say if you'll say you're the head honcho of this company, you would also be willing to pay $500,000 for that information if it was packaged properly. So if it had the sizzle, if it had the zing, if it came with a communicator who really could, or with a salesperson who could really sell the information, you would pay that money for it. And so it's kind of crazy to me, um, to think about. And part of the reason I think about this probably is sometimes I probably feel like that 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 blog post that nobody cares about. Like, sometimes I feel like the information I had that I know about marketing, um, you know, could potentially revolutionize companies, could really change their outlook if um, I could get them to pay any attention. And so now I will say, if I cannot get them to pay attention, that is ultimately not on them. It's actually on me, because the one of the primary jobs, when I say one of the primary jobs, one of the jobs in marketing is the packaging, right? It's putting the sizzle with the steak. And you can have the greatest steak in the world, but if it doesn't have the sizzle, you can't get people interested in the steak, right? So that's on me if I can't get people to see how brilliant my ideas are. And maybe they're not that brilliant. So let's just keep a balanced perspective here. Um, and on the other hand, I think that's the one side. On the other hand, well, that's for the next video. Peace out.